Mhm. Well, I looked there on your Discord and I was kind of curious about people that were in it. Well, it's always a pleasure. I mean, I signed my name not of anybody else's choice but by mine. Sorry, I'm trying to read off your cues. Going with that. I appreciate it. I don't speak for all my brothers and sisters, but I know some stories. Yes, but to start that off, I mean, Men's Mental Health Month. What is a man during November and December? He's a provider, and he's supposed to bring home the bacon, the turkey, and also make sure every Christmas present is wrapped beneath the tree. Fair enough. I'm studied and Orthodox. Can you hear me? My earphones cut out. Okay. But I've studied Orthodox, Catholicism, Judaism. I could name several many more. It's true. I mean, it's true, which I agree with that. That's kind of wrong because women do provide as well. I mean, I've served with several sisters of mine that I have more respect for than other men. I mean, if your child does something, whose fault is it? Yours. Sorry, I'm gonna get personal with you at the same time. Now, sorry, continue on. Okay, my background is I grew up in East Tennessee. I knew my grandparents. I knew my family. There's over like 700 members. Big family. The original founders, I've got pictures that go to the 1979 or 1790. Sorry, my bad on the wording. Oh, they wait on me. They wait on me like a anchor on a boat. Okay, without disclosing names. I was 18 at the time. My stepmother at the time, which my parents got divorced at age 12. I switched custody at ages of for the two judges and a lawyer. But my stepmother at the time, she was sleep deprived, which I don't know if you know what that means medically. You lose your mind. After 2 weeks of not having sleep, you're not you anymore. Yeah. So I went home to my father's house. My stepmother was there and all this was going on. He's like, "Hey, you got somewhere you can go?" I was like, "Yeah, I got somewhere I can go." So I go stay at a buddy. But since I didn't go in past this black bag, I was pretty easy. My step, my father called my uncle and said, "Hey brother, I need you." He showed up with a pistol and a can of mace and said, "Whatever you need me, I'm here." Family, you know, big family. I mean, all that got resolved. Everything worked out. Everything got good to me. But it was just a rough patch when I was a teenager. That was just one of them. First time I tried to commit suicide was long before I joined the military. 16. I took a three six. I took a 357 revolver, slammed one round in it, spun it. No, I was supposed to die. I was supposed to die. In all my opinion, I was supposed to die because the bullet that I hit was a squib round that didn't actually fire. I hit the only single bullet in the revolver. And then from there on, it kind of taught me the lesson. Maybe I wasn't supposed to die yet. I was meant. It helped me get better for a little bit, but then other struggles hit me. Oh yes, I believe God is out there. I believe He's up above. I wouldn't say I believe in any religion. I believe in faith. There's a difference. I cannot wait till the day religion dies because only faith needs to remain. Sorry, it's real quick. I don't believe in religions. I just believe in faith. But that was the first time. Second time was after I was in the military. I was home for a little bit. I realized that I'm highly susceptible to afflicts of human nature, meaning highly addicted. I put a knife in my shit. Or, well, this one was pills because I got sent to a psych ward because they thought I was unstable when they thought I said I would kill myself. And then after I was at the psych ward, the doctor told me that my father told him that I had a pistol out in the truck and I would kill myself if I wanted to. And that is not what my father, because in realistic aspect, there was a Glock out in the car. And I mean, if I was going to kill myself, I would have probably just squeezed through. This was a cry, a plea, a help. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They tried to give me two volumes, and that didn't really calm me because all I could see is that little doctor sitting in there being a bullseye. Yeah, I wanted outpatients. That's all I wanted. I just wanted somebody to talk to. And because on the insurance in the state, they could hold me for 10 days without reason and get paid. So you see my trust diswaning in this establishment. Just because of insurance. Yeah. Yeah. And they're getting paid the whole time I'm there. I'm basically in prison. I'm basically in a jail. Now, as far as like the military stuff, what I would advise to anybody listening out there is if somebody goes quiet for 3 weeks and starts telling their shit, call them and drive to their fucking home. I've lost too many. Better answer. Well, they teach that in the military. It's called battle mind. I don't know if you've ever heard of that term. Battle mind is basically how you cope with everything afterward. I've taught 3 classes on it, and I've taught 3 classes on suicide. Of course, everybody chuckles at suicide until they have to be faced with it. It doesn't mean they don't understand. It just means that's the way they handled the situation. Yeah, they went in that, and I still served. I mean, my clearance overrode it and everything else. So that's things I'm not necessarily going to touch on. Makes sense. I would have just asked what's wrong. What do you want done? There's some of us that understand the psychological mind so much that we're almost insane, and that's why we do what we do, because it's like Honestly, just look dead straight in the eyes and say, "What can I do for you? What do you want?" Because there's so many in the battle mind that already know what they want. They just want peace and they want to find it somehow. It doesn't mean locking them up for 10 days, you know? That's not the best place. That's not the best place to put somebody like me. Because the whole time I literally already strategized how to get out of there. When I walk into a room or a bar or a cafe, I look at all the windows and all the exits. And I place myself in the most strategical place I can place myself, usually in a corner somewhere near an instant exit. It's just habit by this nature. But back on how I was raised, my father served for the police for 35 years. My uncle served for the police for 45 years. My grandfather was in the Navy. My grandpa on the other side was in the Air Force. Yeah, I was not an ignorant child. I got taught how to fight since I was young. I got taught how to disassemble guns since I was like 10. I will tell you one story when I hit my unit. I was the first combat medic they've had up there in 8 years. Well, they had one, but I would call him kind of a crap bag. You're good.
Can you let me know if it's like freezing or not, Trolley? Because I keep trying to refresh my stream and I don't. Like on my screen, it's frozen like mid, like with my thing lighting up green and like me not moving. Yeah, it looks frozen to me. It's got to be frozen because it didn't even show that I went on the be right back screen. I don't know why Twitch is crashing like this. See, and can you see me, or only when I'm like on that screen? I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
I
It's
and
just professionalism being quiet.
it just sucks because it's like I've done these before and it was fine, but I've never like done the co-stream thing, so I don't know if it's my computer not being able to do it. But even then, like it's showing my camera's off on Twitch, but my camera's on in Discord.
I see you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But on Twitch it's not. And on OBS it's blank. So I don't fucking know.
Figure it out. You got time. Calm down. I wish I knew what they were saying though.
Yeah, nobody's talking in chat.
Okay.
And because I was asking them if like it was sketchy, if it was like breaking up or whatever, but like according to my screen on my phone, my camera's off and there's like no audio. So it's I don't know if it's because my computer doesn't know where to put the camera because there's so many different things going on, but it should be on. Okay, go into Discord settings, advanced, and turn off hardware acceleration. I don't. All right, if that all right. We don't know what that means, but I'll do it. Settings.
You're not in the war zone. Calm down.
Thank you.
I can see the stress on your face.
I'm not able to access my advanced settings. It says open video code provided by Cisco Systems. Okay, I'm willing to do that if they would let me. Okay. One, my hair's like strangling me, I feel like. So, we're gonna fucking fix that.
Don't bite your nails. That's a bad habit.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's the word. I chew on my nails a lot. It's because like I don't have my
Sorry.
vape, and I only.
That's the medical side of me. Don't bite your nails. Damn it.
Yeah, well, all my vapes are dead, and my other vape, I left it out, and I don't have it. And all what I'm looking at is a wheel spinning of like loading. So,
I'm going to check on the washer.
got it. Hi, Wolfie.
Sorry if you hear some noise. Done closing the dryer.
You're okay.
You know, it's just things we do.
See, and then my camera shuts off again. You know why? You know what it is? I don't have Discord on. I think. Easy. I just can't look at anything else other than Discord. Got it. Got it. I think. Did it fix it? Did it fix it? I don't know. What happened? Can you see and hear me? Do you know? Since you're part of the family, so hopefully you'll tell me.
Hopefully, we don't have no blue falcons in here.
Yeah, my stream still says my camera's not on. That's crazy. Okay, I guess it is on. And let's see what Bigo's looking at. Bigo's also looking at me. Sweet. All right, word. So we were about to talk about. I'm so sorry. I know we were talking about your family, and you said there was a lot of military in your family.
Yes. And police force. So, I grew up around police and military. My dad was an armorer for the local police department. The M9 Beretta which was standard issue by the time I joined, is something that I knew very well and how to disassemble. When I got to my unit, because like I said, the other person they had up there was pretty shitty, I showed up. We signed out the rifles and the pistols and everything. Of course, I had the M9, which most soldiers didn't have. One of them goes, "Let me see that." And then he proceeds to point it at my face.
And I was always taught you don't
It
point a
was
gun at
empty,
somebody.
but
Yeah. It's the threat's still there, especially with your training.
I pushed the slide back about a quarter of an inch, disassembled the slide lock, and pulled the slide lock and pulled the slide and pointed at his face like, "If you ever do that again, I'm gonna kill you." And I meant it with all
Yeah,
intensity.
I believe you. I believed it right then. I was like, I think you mean it right now, and I didn't even do it.
I basically disabled the gun out of his hands and like pointed the slide back at him with the sharp points pointed toward his skull, like, "I'm gonna kill you."
Now, is
And
mental health easy for you to talk about with your family, with how big and close your family is?
no,
Is it really like so is it largely like ignored?
no, it's not largely ignored. It's just interchambered.
And what do you mean by that?
Okay, if something was to happen and I'm gonna cry, nobody else will see me cry. I'll be in the bathroom in the shower just pouring my tears out. And same way for all the rest of the men in the family. You know, my son has seen me cry just because of the things I've been through.
Mhm.
Because, okay, I joined the military, I got a basic, I got a AIT, and my wife divorces me because she didn't like the fact that I joined the military.
Now, did you marry her before you joined the military?
Yes.
Did she know you wanted to join the military?
Well, no, but it's like I did talk to her about it, and my uncle, which was a first sergeant, also a combat medic over a hospital in um, what is it? My forts run together. The one near Kentucky, near Nashville, Fort Campbell. He's the one that went with me to sign up because I was smart enough not to go in there alone. Because unless it's under contract, it doesn't exist. So I took somebody higher ranked than me.
Mhm.
And if anybody knows military, you know what a first sergeant is. You don't fuck with them. But anyway, did that, got out of the military after I got the divorce and all that stuff. Then I had a baby mama, which after 18 months of fighting for my son in court and $45,000, she met me at Food City and's like, "I'm moving to Texas to be with this guy." And that's the last I've heard of her in 4 years.
Wow. I
Yeah, so mental health is something you've got to adequate yourself to. You got to be able to handle the challenges that come.
What would you say is your biggest strength during um your journey with your mental health?
Okay, do you want my biggest strength and biggest downcome all at once?
Sh-
Cried.
What'd you say?
Pride.
Pride?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I misheard you and at first, and I was like, I did not understand. I thought you said crab, like the food, and I was like, what?
Pride. PRID.
Yeah, my bad. It threw me
Yeah,
for a loop. I was like, oh well.
the biggest strength and biggest mental downcome I've had is pride.
Yeah, where it's like hard to reach out and hard to admit that you need support.
You don't ask for help. You
Even
somehow
though
make it happen.
even though in the military aren't we taught to well I wasn't I'm sorry. I shouldn't say we.
Okay, no, go. You're good. You're fine.
But isn't
I
it
give you
taught to
exception.
like um work together as a team as a like a cohesive unit?
Well, that leads into a different story. I say this with hesitation, and I wish nobody judges me before I finish my story. We were at a training thing at one point. We went to the bar next door. There's a new girl that joined the unit. She's about a month in. And I was always taught there are two people that approaches you when you newly join a job, a unit, or anything else. You either get the high speed person that's there to have your back, or you get the low speed person that is a scumbag and nobody else is friends with.
Mm.
I was neither one of the two. Even at that point, I was dating a girl that had a 7-year-old daughter, so I had the father instinct in me. This girl, 10 years younger than me, just joined the unit. So, like, we talked a little bit up the unit, and then we talked a little bit at the bar and stuff like that. And I became friends, kind of. I felt sympathy for her because I saw the people targeting her and they just saw her as a body. I no longer wanted body counts.
So would you
So
say
I'm
that you
kind of the
wanted to like
wise
protect
old
her?
man. Yeah, I'm the wise old man in this situation, but it got flipped on me. We went back to the hotel afterward. There's about 47 of us up there staying in the hotel. I asked the hotel, like, what are they called? Guest keeps? Whatever
Yeah,
you call
like
them.
the front
The
house.
clerk. The
Yeah.
clerk, yeah. Hey, where is this person staying? Instead of just telling me a room, they printed off a card key and gave it to me with the room number.
What? Well, were you in uniform?
Not at this time because we were kind of off. But
Okay.
it was one of those like, uh, that's not what I asked for. But at the same time, I don't want to cost this clerk her job
Yeah.
because they just majorly fucked up giving a male access to two females up there.
Yeah, that could have been dangerous.
Yeah, that's a lawsuit right there, if not more.
Absolutely, yeah. I was
So
also
I
that's
bit
why I
my
asked if
tongue.
you were in the uniform because I was like, maybe if you were like a superior officer, they just thought, you know.
Oh no, I've never been an officer. Never wanted to be. But anyway, so I go to knock on her room. She comes out. We talk for a little bit, and then her door closes, and she forgot her room key. Me, without having a common decent thought in my head, just handed that key that the hotel clerk presented me to her. I was like, "That's yours. I don't want it."
Oh my goodness. That could have been what's her reaction to you just handing her room key?
And it worked. And from there, I just went back down to my room. I shut the door. a buddy of mine came in and is like, "Oh, she's freaking out." Da 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 da. I'm like, "You handle it. I'm just staying in the room for the rest of the night."
Yeah, because she was concerned on why you had it.
And I was like, "I shouldn't have had it. I didn't want it, but it came in handy. I'm going back down to my room. I'm secluding myself from everybody else, and I'm going to stay here." Conversation's over. So I went back down there, and then the next day I get called in my captain, lieutenant, and commander's office, and first sergeant. And basically, I had an EO complaint on me, which is basically they accused me of trying to rape her.
Or planning to, at least.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
But if
honestly, at that point, if I would have had a 45 caliber on my hip, I would have shot every one of them just for that accusation.
yeah.
Because I really wasn't trying to get myself in that situation.
And for the
I
record,
removed
if
myself
that was the
immediately
case,
after.
if that was the case, why would you give that key up? Like,
Yeah,
going by their own logic, that doesn't make sense. But
it was a screwed up situation.
yeah.
One of the very few bad marks on my record. But at the
What
same
did they
time, it's
did you explain to them why you had it?
no.
Cuz maybe they
I
could
took
have
the bereavement.
clarified of
I just
like,
sat there and took whatever they had to say to me,
so
and I
you
walked out of the
never
room.
explained to anybody why you
Nope.
had that? That sounds awful. It sounds I I worry about, the rumors.
Oh, trust me, there were ones following me for years after that.
What made you not want to clear your name?
I didn't want to cost that girl her job.
I don't think she would have lost her job if you didn't disclose which one it
I-
was.
If I clarified it, there would have been a lawsuit from the government on that hotel,
Yeah, you're
and
right.
yeah, her and probably a lot of other clerks would have lost their job. So therefore,
For the
yes,
greater
sir.
good.
No,
Yeah.
sir. All right, I'll relieve myself from here. After that, I had the stereotism follow me for about 2 years until another private showed up, and somehow she got put under my wing.
Is there a lot of females in the military?
Oh, yes. Honestly, now it's about, I would say,
Angela?
maybe 55% male, 45% female.
I know my mom's a Marine, but she's older, so it was like a different era. Like she had to do the same
Prove
exact
herself.
things. Yeah. Yeah. There were no special, accommodations or anything at the time.
Like I said, I had a pregnant one out on the range, and I had to explain to her that she couldn't take the caffeine pills. Caffeine is not good for pregnancy.
Yeah, caffeine's a drug.
But yeah, it's grown a lot. And if you think of the military, there is 2% that make up our military.
Mhm.
Okay, it's 2% from the 1950s till now. What is the actual percentage that has served in the military?
So Okay, I've got kind of caught up in the whole thing. So you said where we left off in that was another those rumors dissipated once you had
because I
a
another female under my care,
yeah.
basically. And she wasn't even through training, and we took her on an op, and like I had to be the babysitter,
Mm.
which she found out that I was talking to my girlfriend back home and stuff, and she started calling me a big old teddy bear, and I'm like, shut up. That's not my reputation around here. Because I adorn the black sheep reputation. I wanted everybody to stay the fuck back from me, unless you were close enough to be my friend or somebody I would actually train. Which is the same thing I've done in my family. I've always been a black sheep. I'm cool with that. Before I joined the military, I ran cocaine. Of course, nobody knew about it.
Did was it was that did you get into that as like a coping with the mental stress of what you were dealing with at that time?
No, the running the cocaine was just, I kind of found myself in the darker side of the world. That was long before I joined the military. And while I joined the military, and my MOS was a 68 whiskey combat medic, which, if you look up the percentages, it's got the second highest percent rate of suicide in the U.S. Army. The
Wow.
only one that goes above it is snipers.
Snipers have a high
Higher. They're at the top 1% because you've got to actually look at your target before you pull the trigger.
yeah. I never really thought about that because it would
Ours
be
is the
more
second
intimate.
highest. Ours is the second highest because we're combat medics. Because everything in your gut, when you hear gunfire, what do?
Duck.
Run,
Drop.
duck,
Yeah,
things
or
like that.
like drop. Stop dropping.
Now, what happens to a person that's own natural instinct is overridden for when I hear gunfire, I'm going to try to pull somebody out of the gunfire.
Cuz that's your training. Cuz you said you were a combat medic.
Yeah,
That must be
we ran
extra
into the
stressful.
fire. We wanted to make sure our brothers and sisters got out, and I can tell you that a Humvee hit with an IED looks like a blender turned on with human beings inside. That's as much as I will tell you on that one. Sights you cannot erase out of your mind. Things that haunt you in the middle of the night.
um
Has anybody chimed in for a comment?
Not yet. They've sent some emotes. A one-wing angel sent you some kisses. Um, uh, I'm Defiant Angel. That one-wing angel is somebody else. For the record. Not that. I mean, just for clarity's sake. Uh, I do have some questions. Now,
Still open for debate. I've got to let my dog in though.
yeah, okay. You want to like take a moment to do
You're
that?
good. Keep talking.
Okay.
I
Um,
got you as long as I don't walk outside. I'm up in the country where if I walk outside, I lose service
yeah.
completely. I'm running off Wi Fi. If I pull the router plug, I'm in the dark. Nobody can find me.
I know you said that you had a lot of family in the military, but was there anything that you imagined the military life to be like that it wasn't? Or were they just always transparent about, like, what it is?
Okay, actually, yes, I can explain this one to you. I told you I had a grandfather in the Air Force.
Yes.
He he raised me kind of along with my mother and father and my grandmother and the rest of the family. But he was a very disciplined person. He was a very outspoken person and he was a very strong person. When I got in the military, I was not prepared for the hurry up and wait because I'm used to my grandfather when he said be here at 5, it means be here at 5 and we're going to work right then.
Yeah.
So you get the difference. It's not like be here at 5 and then we're going to wait around in formation for 30 minutes waiting for the commanders to show up and then all of a sudden we're rolling out. I had a different military bearing to me. I was raised by the ones that actually went through World War II and Vietnam.
Yeah.
My grandfather was the first person into Vietnam, and they were the last flight out. He was an aircraft mechanic. They had to be the first people in, and they were the last people out.
Wow. That's very
So,
dangerous. And that's a different I know what you mean by, like, a different mindsets because I volunteer with the veterans, and the veterans that I help, um, are more of, like, your grandfather's kind versus the
it's not be here at 5 and then we'll do something at 6.
yeah.
No, it's be here at 5 and we're kicking it off then. Get ready.
Oh, Brito, thank you so much for the subscription. I appreciate you.
She's a dear, isn't she?
Let me give a hug out. What is was there a moment during your service time that changed your perspective on, like, life?
Honestly, most of the things that changed my perspective was things on my civilian side, but on the military side, I viewed life or death as a battlefield. I had the battle mind. I was prepared for whatever I was going to see and whatever I had to carry home with me. Now, on the civilian side, there were several things that changed my mind. My son being one of them. When he was born, the instincts that I had through the military and through civilian and everything else, nothing's going to touch him. And I hope you understand that sentiment.
Yeah. It's very,
I
like,
have training well
mind-blowing.
beyond training. Nothing's going to touch him. I will become a lethal weapon again. I hate to, but I can.
Yeah. Speaking of from the civilian side, um, the transitioning so I'm not getting into specifics and not, like, doxing any of operations or anything that you have done.
No, you're
Um,
fine. Continue.
did you deploy? And if so, what was that experience like on, like, a personal level, not operational level?
Okay, on a personal level, they don't believe in the Geneva Convention.
And you're a combat
They
medic,
don't
right?
believe,
So that must have been
yeah,
difficult for you to
I can't be on a squad based weapon according to the Army and Geneva Convention. Meaning I cannot be on a SAW, I cannot be on a 240 Bravo, I cannot be on a Maldus,
Mm-hmm.
technically. But
Yeah, I was waiting for the but.
let's just say things get fucked up. Where assets aren't where you need them to be, and you've got to do things that might get you in trouble. And I mean, when you close your eyes, you still remember things like that.
Yeah. And just to and I hate this is kind of like a little throwback. I don't know if you saw any of my YouTube stuff, but I had actually I don't even think it might not even be on YouTube. There's no way you've seen this actually. I'm sorry. A while ago, a couple years ago, I interviewed someone with stolen valor. They did not know that I knew they had stolen valor, and they thought they were coming on to talk similar how you're talking to me, except they claim to be a combat medic in Ukraine, and they were claiming to be there
We
like
had nobody posted over there in the last 10 years,
yeah, and
according to the intel that I've got from the OD. But anyway,
yeah, no, there was many inconsistencies. I mean, the man said he was doing his interview from a foxhole on an Xbox. So, but one thing he did say that I couldn't find any truth to, but there's no one better to ask than an actual combat medic. He claimed that he used mercury, not mercury, like a morphine. That's it is morphine. I'm so sorry. He said that he was using morphine to eliminate um soldiers that he was forced to do that, and that because we don't keep enemies or whatever.
oh, you mean to inoculate soldiers?
No, to like kill them.
That's what I mean, inoculate.
Oh, sorry.
It's the medical description. It's basically death. The only way you could do that is if they necessarily morphine is a shit. Hold on. It's a phosphorus drug or no. Yeah, phosphorus. And the only way you could necessarily kill a soldier with morphine is if they had a respiratory disease or a respiratory ailment. Because morphine stunts the body, pulling away from the respiratory, pulling more into the blood system.
Hmm. So that wouldn't have been a
That's
efficient.
where, if like we're treating a person with a respiratory symptom, we would give them what's called a fentanyl lollipop, which is not like the fentanyl you hear nowadays. You just place it under the tongue, and that relieved the pain without distressing the respiratory distress. If you had injected morphine, it would probably put them in shock, and I don't know how many minutes. It's been a while since I've been in, so
Yeah.
I
But
would say
either
about
way,
15
this
minutes.
that wouldn't have been like even if he was ordered to do anything of that sort, that wouldn't have been the method.
I mean, you could over injected somebody, but I mean, most medics carried Narcan.
And wouldn't it have been more expensive to use morphine? I don't know.
No, it would have been easier just to use the M9 on your waist or on your hip pack or on your
Mm.
chest pack, wherever you carried it,
Yeah,
depending on your
he used some
SOPs.
excuse like saying they didn't want to waste the bullets or something crazy like that. But like I said, he had
Oh,
so
hell
many
no.
numerous. He couldn't tell me, one of my first questions was like, "What side of the road does Ukraine drive on?" Because I tried to find questions, that wouldn't be easily
Isn't
Googleable.
it the right side? Aren't they like Europeans?
I never, I don't know. He said they, it was a whole thing. But yeah, so
I've never been up to Ukraine, so I don't know.
yeah,
I mean, I've watched the war up there and everything, and honestly, they've done great against Russia. I have to give them credits.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, sorry for that sidetrackedness. With the
No, you're fine. That's
I apologize a lot. I don't mean to. I'm working on it. Well, I mean to. I shouldn't. And yeah. But so what is
no, I don't
something
like people that claim what they're not.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I ended up tearing him to pieces eventually. I just let him dig his hole first. So
Why do you think I'm trying to stay more toward the civilian world?
yeah. Yeah. What's
I
some
don't want to
speak
go into that. No offense.
Yeah, speaking of civilians, what's something that you wish civilians understood better about coming home from service?
You're not the same, and you never will be. There are things that you had to do that goes against every belief and every custom you ever had. You were not the same.
Uh,
Because being a somewhat biblical man,
mhm.
what are the 10 commandments? Yeah, I've done violated 2 of them at least.
Yeah, so you kind of have to put aside everything that you thought was a boundary for you. And then you have to come home and pretend like it didn't happen.
And you got to follow orders
Mm.
unless you can disprove it. Being
Unethical.
unethical,
Yeah.
sorry,
No, you're good.
unethical, illogical, or against the law. That's the only 3 ways you could rebuke your orders.
And even then, I'm sure it's dangerous when
It's
you're not
hell.
home and you're somewhere where it's just you and the commanders and the other people. I'm sure it's difficult to stand up and say, "Hey, this is wrong."
I couldn't tell you how many different commanders and captains I backed up. I can give you one incident, and that's just through training because I'm going to give you training stories more than anything. Is
Yeah,
that fair
yeah.
enough?
Yeah, that's fair. Whatever you're comfortable with.
All right. But we were in, let's see, I think it was Fort Gordon. We were down there with the river rats, which are the boat or the bridge dock layers, the boat
Mhm.
people that go set up bridges basically in the river. They roll out the big boats that like make a bridge. We had a tornado come through the night before, destroyed 9/10 out of our 46. And I watched one of my sergeants that was 290 pounds get lifted with the pole in the middle of the tent off the ground and slammed back down.
Wow.
This was at like 1 a.m. in the morning. My commander decided he wanted to resume drills at 6 o'clock that morning. I politely excused myself into this meeting, being the lowest ranking member in this meeting,
And is
but
that's
being the
not
only
you?
medic, responsible at this meeting right now. It's like, listen, I went out there with my aid bags. I saw our soldiers digging E trenches around the tents just to keep the water from flooding our shit. Sir, you're going to wait till about 12.
Well, you were just
I get to
informing
do
him the
what?
reality of it.
I get to do what? And I was like, sir, as my medical perspective and my medical analysis as the highest ranking medical member here, you're going to pause all operations until I give a clear.
Wow. That must have
Then
how did the room react to that?
they kind of froze. Because, I mean, I'm just I think I might have been a specialist at this time. You know, I'm low ranking. It was just one of those things. No, Commander, you're not going to endanger our people for inside ops because they're sleep deprived and you're wanting them to drive on this convoy. No, this is just training. This ain't real life. Suck it up, wait a couple hours, let them get sleep.
Yeah, let them get to optimal, you know.
I ran for about 3 hours of sleep that whole day, so I was pissed.
So
It's
that's
like one time I had a soldier fall out on a PT test. You
fall
know,
out as in
standard
like
PT
lose
test.
consciousness?
Not yet. He was probably within about 20 minutes. I asked him, I was like, what did you eat and drink the other night? He said, I had a slice of lasagna and I've drank nothing but water since the night before. You stupid son of a bitch.
Yeah, how can
Sorry.
you work at your
I tried not
best?
to cuss,
Oh, you're
but
fine. My stream is for adults only, and they knew that this could have heavy topics. Like you can conduct yourself that way. That's fine.
it was just like one of those, you stupid son of a gun. And so I bring him back up to the truck because I had a truck there. Sat him on the tailgate. I gave him a pack of crackers and a bottle of Gatorade. I said, eat and drink that. Next thing I know, I have a crowd of like all the other soldiers gathered around. Next thing I hear is like all the other soldiers, when you going to stick him? When you going to stick him?
What does that mean?
Put an IV in him.
Oh, was he dehydrated too, or they just wanted him infused?
Yeah, he was just crashed that bad. He was dehydrated. He was out of energy. I mean, I could have gave him an IV and in like 5 minutes he'd have been back up on his feet, but
That puts a lot of
not the
stress on the
lesson I was trying
body.
to teach. Not the lesson I was trying to teach at this moment. I was not the nicest, gentlest person.
Yeah, and
And then the
you weren't.
commander steps up. When you gonna stick him? I snapped around, I hit a attention salute, and I turned to him and I was like, Sir, I will stick him when he can no longer eat or drink.
Ooh.
Because as soon as I stick him, sir, he is now a heat casualty. And that will follow him for the rest of his career.
So you were actually helping him by
Mm-hmm.
not giving him the easy way out.
Yeah, but I had enough food and drink. I mean, I wasn't worried. Had a couple bananas too. I was prepared. I'm always prepared. But it was one of those, it's like, nope, I'm not going to ruin his career, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because his career is just starting. Because you said it was the PT like exam, right?
Yeah, it was just a PT test. The 2 mile run is when he fell out, and it was about a mile and 0.75 into it.
With
Oh,
you,
my unit always gave me problems for being a medic
what do you mean by that?
because even during training. All right, so we went out to do training on a obstacle course. Being the only medic we had in the unit, guess what I had to do? I just had to sit out and watch everybody. I'm just there for security, waiting for somebody to get fucked up. So a bunch of my soldiers around one of these obstacle courses, like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You never do it. So I zipped my aid bag up, fastened all the straps, tightened the chest strap down, fastened seatbelt buckle on it. I mean, all right, you say I can't do it? Watch this. I did it with my aid bag and under their time.
You
Then I
really
looked
showed
at him.
them.
Then I looked at him and I took off my aid bag because they were doing it in strip gear.
Mhm.
I dropped my aid bag in front of him. I said, "Pick it up." I had two banana bags, 1,000 milligrams in it, plus all the rest of the aid shit, weighing up to about 75 pounds.
You carry 75 pounds of medical supplies
Yes,
on top
I
of
was the only
other
medic.
gear?
Yeah.
Wh-
I mean, granted, in Humvees and stuff, I kept a secondary aid bag with a lot of that in it and only carried minimal. But like in training environments, I carried everything. There wasn't a Humvee nearby for me to carry it in, or at Haga or a MRAP or.
So,
So it's like they
is it
challenged me,
normal
and I was
for
like,
only one medic per squad?
"Oh no, we were supposed to have 5 medics per my unit. I was the only one."
And how does that happen where you're not up to quote is I don't know if regulation's the right word, but how could they put that much pressure on you when you're doing the work of 5 men?
Well, it just all depends. It's like on deployment, they could pull out of other units or the IRR and pull other men in there. But it's like, as far as like with my unit, I was pretty much the only one until my sergeant came in, which my sergeant, God love her to death, was dumber than a box of rocks.
What? In a leadership position?
She left as a sergeant. Um, she was a sergeant as a, what is it called? Not 91 Bravo. She was a 45 Alpha con- horizontal construction engineer. I don't remember the actual call sign. And then she reenlisted and went back as a medic. So when she came back into my unit, she was above me, even though I've already served 3 years at this position.
And just because of her prior experience, she came in like above you.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem very fair when you're more experienced.
Eh, experience only counts when it matters.
Um, so you said you were open to talking about training stories, right?
Yeah.
What is one training that you thought was going to be not ever utilized in the field that ended up being utilized? And in what capacity? You're muted if you I don't know if you know that.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to be.
Oh no, you're good.
Wasn't subjecting everybody else to that.
I appreciate that. I do. For sure.
But anyway, training in the field, or training that actually mattered.
That you expected to not be ever utilized.
honestly, I hope none of my training was ever utilized
Oh, what was utilized?
because my training involved other people getting fucked up.
Mm.
So, I mean, okay, let me give you the story where I joined as a combat medic. As I told you, it takes nothing to shoot a person, to pull a trigger and kill a person. I'm copacetic with that every day. But it takes everything to run in there and pull somebody out and drag them by the collar to get them behind a barricade to where you can provide first aid. Hopefully, they'll live. So, I mean, granted, I wanted none of my training to be utilized, but I mean, honestly, if I was going to give advice for other soldiers, tourniquet implications really matter. The cat tees are lifesavers. High and tight, hasty positions. I implore everybody to bring them back alive.
Is there anything that, or any situation that you witnessed, maybe a different medic doing some doing or applying first aid that you would have done differently? And did you step in and correct them, or like that lady who was like a higher
Oh, the first
position?
sergeant?
Yeah.
Yeah,
uh,
or the sergeant, not
Yeah.
first sergeant. Sorry,
The
my
lady
bad.
who came in back, but re-enlisted, but was
Well,
above you. Was what did she ever make, or was about to make a grievance, like a really bad mistake that you corrected her on, or that you
I
stepped in and was
never
like,
had to technically correct her.
okay.
She corrected herself because before we ever went out anywhere, we were at a training exercise. And since there were two medics, one had to be at the qualification range, one had to be at the, what is it called where you sight in your gun? Brain's gone dead.
Sign in your gun. Oh, the like locker
Basically, where you sight
people.
in your gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you sight in your gun on the range before you go to the qualification. Qualification is the dummies that pop up from anywhere from 50 meters to 300 meters. Before that, you have the basically sight in range. That's where I was placed because I was the younger medic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're in Fort Chaffee, Arkansas in August. It's 135 degrees, no shade.
Ooh, that's no shade. 130 degrees. Ooh, wait. I don't know.
I'm on the first range where you sight in your rifles.
Mm-hmm.
I watched about 5 soldiers about fall out and I picked them up before they got there. Every one of my soldiers was waiting for me to fall out because where I'm from East Tennessee and part redneck, my neck tan's red, which looks like a giant sunburn. Not really. So I'm up there. I see somebody like starting to doze off in the bleachers, and I'm like, hey, it's about 11. What have you ate today? Nothing. No. Come here, buddy. You're coming with me. We're going to get you some food. Because I carried extra MREs on me. Always did. I nursed probably a dozen people off that range. She probably had 18 people fall out on her range. She's like, why were you sending them down here to me like this? I'm like, trust me, they didn't leave my care like that. They left your care like that. I
Wow.
looked over them and I made sure they had water and drink up here, and every one of the medics in the because we had battalion down with us, so every one of the medics in the battalion understood what I did.
Yeah.
Her, on the other hand, was not really doing the supportive care of actually looking through the bleachers, watching for somebody start to doze off, look for signs.
Yeah, she just sat and waited for them to come to her.
Yeah.
And I think being proactive is kind of essential when you're a medic.
Well, that's my biggest thing. It's better to be proactive than inactive. Because what I can fix now with just giving you a couple crackers and a little bit of cheese, maybe a drink, I would have to fix later with an IV bag and maybe even throwing you under ice sheets and everything else.
So, talking about the mental health aspect. So, how did serving as a combat medic in the army shape your mental health with both the challenges of it and the strengths of it?
Well, I mean, coming through here with what I've told you already about what I've been through, being what I was prepared me for a lot, even though it damaged me a lot. It prepared me for a lot because if my son runs up to me with a scrape, oh, Bubba, you're okay. Now, if there's a dog attacking or like trying to bite his leg off, I know how to treat it. I mean, I have pressure bandages and everything else in the house.
Hmm.
I tend to stay more prepared than I should and ready to basically, if you ever heard the Army's thing, engage, destroy enemies of the state.
No. But I'm like
That goes the same for the mental health. Anybody that threatens me, I'm ready to threaten them. But I'm peaceful. That's the 68 whiskey in me. I'd rather doctor somebody up and see them be healthy than have to do bad things.
yeah.
I would rather be the gentle, naturing person because it's a world I never want my son to experience, to be honest. I hope he
So,
never has to learn
by
the truth.
and when would you say that the woman who had re-enlisted, did she ever approach you and like ask you how to be better, or did she just take notes from afar?
It was more maybe take notes from afar, but she shrugged most of it off because she could have been a Hollister model, let's put it that way.
And instead she was, oh, I'm so sorry. So before she was the medic, she was a sergeant. And
Yeah,
I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to like what it
she
takes to be
was a
upgraded.
horizontal she was a horizontal construction equipment operator, meaning she was basically the guys that pave roads, smooth the roads, run dozers, all the rest of it.
Okay. It just amazes me
The only
how
thing that I can give this sergeant is she was blessed with double D's. And I don't mean that by insult. It just, yep. All
okay.
right. See where you got where you were.
um did you tell us how how long you served?
I served 8 years. That's all I could handle before my son was born.
Um
It was long enough, trust me.
yeah. in what helps you through the difficult days now? Is there any tools or routines that you may have learned in the military?
Okay, honestly, one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself is make a mind's castle. I don't know if you've ever heard of that expression. It is
No.
mental expression. People make different mind castles. It's their safe place they go to in their mind. Mine looks like a library.
Okay.
And from there, I can pull out the books of my mind and just read through the stories. I find it solemn and peaceful when I can kind of just sit and go through there
Mm.
and look at those things and remind myself of who I am.
And where like
Because
you
that's the
came
one
from.
thing is never forget who you are.
Um, what's the most advanced medical emergency that you tended to?
It used things out of my kits that I don't normally use. And all I'm going to say is just what it used out of my kit. It took a torso dressing, 3,000 milliliter IV saline bags, and yeah, it wasn't pretty.
I wish I knew more. I mean, I know what torso bandages are, and I know what IV bags. I don't know. I'm not. Especially.
Basically, can you imagine somebody's guts outside of their body?
Oh, wow. So, like suturing and everything.
No, we weren't doing that in the field because it was a very unsuitable place to do something like that. We were stabilizing, trying to get them back to somewhere that could do that.
Okay. Have you ever used like a a suction bandage?
A suction bandage. Are you talking like a suction bandage? All I can think is like a fluttering valve over a sucking chest wound.
Yeah, for
But
chest wounds.
we actually did a lot more with that with IV bags and medical tape because we weren't always privy to that equipment.
Okay. So is that like a newer equipment or older?
Well, it was newer. Well, it's in service now very easily.
Okay.
Back then, it was kind of newer. They've kind of come out with the fluttering valves on the sucking chest wound. They kind of come out with the chest seals, the shit, I can't remember what they're called, but they're chest seals basically. Because we also carried needle decompressions,
Needle
which I could
decompressions?
actually, yeah, it's a 3.5 inch needle that I insert down into your lung, and I let blood or whatever fluid is stopping your lung from inflating after I've got it sealed.
Okay.
It's a 3.5 inch needle IV catheter. I mean, you leave the
Oh.
IV catheter in, you don't leave the actual needle in.
Yeah. Yeah, the needle's just to permeate through to get to where the catheter needs to go, right? I think I'm getting it.
Seventh to eighth intercostalary muscle, or eighth to ninth if you go in between the ribs.
Okay. And this might be a really rude question, but was there anybody that you couldn't save? Like you couldn't stabilize rather. Cuz you're
The only answer I will give you is yes.
okay, sorry. I I don't mean to be like
I
callous
can't
about it.
go in more details than that, but
Yeah.
yes. And there is something that every military member needs to understand. Survivals or survivors guilt is not forever. You'll one day learn why you survived. And I give that blessing to my son.
Yeah. Another question. So w- with the mental struggles, would you say it's more difficult now that was it more difficult for you to get support now that you're not active duty than, or was it more difficult for a pride to reach out for help during active duty?
During active, it was probably more difficult, but after active, it's even more difficult because, like I said, served 8, never retired.
Yeah.
I don't ask for help from VA or anything else like that. I do it on the civilian level.
Could you give me like, would it be too specific to give me like a decade range of like when you were active, or is that,
My service?
yeah, for your
Yeah,
service?
I can give you my service. I enlisted December 10th, 2010, and I got out December 10th, 2018.
Okay. And your like code, not your code, but like when people were like, identify yourself without saying your like name or anything, like what was like the title of like, so they knew you were medic, I guess.
I was a 68 Whiskey combat medic. I served in I went through training at, what is it in Fort Benning? 282nd Infantry. And then I went on to Fort Sam Houston through I can't remember the battalion out there. That was a long time ago. And I also served under the 357th when I hit the reserves through Asheville, North Carolina. Um, what do you want to know out about it? I mean,
I was just trying to
I
like,
can't give you the rest,
no,
you
you're
know.
good. Yeah, I was happy with the like whiskey medic thing. I was like, okay, I think that's what I wanted. And then you even gave additional information. I was like, okay, whatever he gives, I'm happy to receive, you know?
I went through Fort Benning and then I went through AIT at Fort Sam Houston. I went on to serve and then I served in the 357 Engineering Battalion in Asheville, North Carolina, under reserves for a little bit because you got to spend your 2 hour years somewhere.
Okay. Of the different
I
forts you've
served,
been to, which one was the cleanest? I know that's like an obscure.
the cleanest.
Yeah.
Definitely not Fort Chaffee. They
It,
were doing asbestos things in the barracks we were in.
oh, geez. We've known asbestos was not good for a long time. That seems a little neglectful.
Well, Fort Chaffee is also where Elvis Presley went through and got his haircut famously.
Oh. I don't know shit about Elvis, I'm not gonna lie to you. I know only like,
Well, that was just an old memorandum to anybody asking about, like, if I know what I'm talking about, kind of.
oh, okay. Um,
I also went to Fort Dix. Fort Dix wasn't too bad. That's Fort Dix, New Jersey. My favorite was probably Fort Sam,
where's Fort Sam?
San Antonio, Texas, and San Antonio is beautiful. It's got a river running through the town.
Wow. Um, I have friends at Fort Hood down in Texas. They're active though, so they can't give me too many details of things. Like he re-enlisted like
As
several
long as they're
times.
not in Fort Drum. Fort Drum sucks.
I don't know, I think Hood changed its name, but I don't know what the new name is. Um
Fort Drum is up in New York. It's cold as shit all the time and it's miserable. I'd rather be in Fort Hood. I know people down near Fort Hood, probably.
I've heard some horror stories that they wouldn't come on record to say, but of Fort Hood and some pretty shisty things going on there. Um
Well, they had a couple issues come up. I saw it pop over the DoD registry or the websites. They still send me shit, even though I'm still technically not in.
um so when you don't have to confirm, but I'm just guessing, just judging by like the years you had given me. When you went overseas, you went to like Europe area.
Oh no, this was in the middle of the Afghan-Iraqi war.
Oh, okay. I'm told that like those countries are actually like vastly different even though they're neighboring to each other. Like which countries would you say is the most stereotypical, and which one would you have been people would be surprised is that country?
Actually, I don't know if I can give you that answer because it's a different climate from Northeast Tennessee. We're up in the mountains and everything else. And by mountains, I mean lustrous green mountains, not sand mountains, basically.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking it was like Egypt. Then again, I don't know. I've never been to
Well, it's
Egypt.
not quite like that. And I mean, it's not quite like Egypt. It's not sand dunes. It's not looking for an
Is it
oasis. I
cold?
mean, there's towns. In the morning, it's freezing. In the afternoon, it's so burning hot you can't stand it.
Is there any cuisine that you tried while overseas that you wish you could still have now?
Actually, it wasn't necessarily native to them, but curry.
You can get curry in America. Maybe not the
Not the same. Not the same. It's like asking for like chili from up here. You can get chili anywhere, but there's a difference now.
Yeah, I've
Especially if
had
you're going
curry
for
in
store bought
Europe.
versus like
I've had curry in England, but I've never been further east than England.
never been to England, oddly enough.
Um,
Germany's beautiful.
I bet Germany's beautiful. Um, so when we think of the stereotypical Middle East in terms of like that era, like what country are we really like when we talk? Because before I knew a little bit more about those countries, I thought everything kind of looked a little like Egypt, you know, like sandy and nothing and poor and what country is like that out there that we just assume that they all are like that?
Well, it all depends on which regions you look in. Each of those countries out there have different regions, just like the United States have different regions. You can see the Sahara Desert, you can see Kandahar, you can see a couple different places. I mean, it looks like different areas of the United States. Because
Okay.
you got to imagine we have the broadest landmass out there. We go from desert to freezing cold temperatures with tundra. It's just like asking if Russia's cold. Sometimes, not all year.
So
Sorry if I kind of skated that one.
you're okay. I'm looking at because like I said, I'm live on multiple platforms, and from the alternate platform, they're asking where, like, if you ever been to. I might be butchering this place, so forgive me. Um, Kandahar, and what your thoughts on
Kandahar,
that city is.
that's what we called it. Not bad. Wasn't the worst hellscape we were in, but that's all I'm going to say on that.
Okay.
I'm sorry to your viewers on
No,
that
you're
one.
I don't even know exactly what I was asking, like I said, so, like, that so you'd been there, so that's could you say what country that is, or I can Google it too, my bad. Um, yeah, that must have been Afghanistan then. Have you been to
All I
Jerusalem?
remember. No, I've never been to Jerusalem. I would love to go. I mean, just to go over there and see it.
Yeah. No, I know what you meant. I wasn't thinking you were dreaming of us invading.
No, I mean, not like that. I
Um,
would never invade that land because that goes against every holy doctrine I've ever studied.
yeah. Um, have you ever patched up like an enemy to bring them back, or did you just focus on allies?
Our job is not just allies. I can only kill you if I walk towards you. If I step one step past you, now it is my job to do my job.
Okay. Oh,
I won't say that I've never patched up enemies. I will say I've patched up people
yeah.
and let them live.
Thank you for the lurk, outlawed. Um, did you get any?
Sorry, I'm
Oh,
sitting here drinking water.
yeah, you're fine. Did you get any accolades or commendations for any outstanding, or did you witness anything that was commendable to the point where when they got home, whether it be a battle buddy or yourself, where you like either witnessed or were a part of that you can talk about?
Accolades, I will not mention because honestly, I never received any because of my own flaws in character. But as far as battle buddies, there are several I will say I owe my life to. There's one I have hearing from because of what he did
And of course,
in my left ear. Completely ruptured my eardrum to where like literally it was hanging by a sliver and they're like it might not repair.
and he was able to repair it.
Well, he didn't necessarily repair it. He knew what to do to make it to where it can repair itself, if that makes sense. He knew how to like keep it to where I didn't damage it anymore.
Okay. I think I understand.
He kept me from fucking myself up at that point. Because I'm only hearing out of my right ear. Everything in my left ear sounded like you were underneath a pool.
Oh. Is that to well, obviously it's due to the extreme injury.
It's a rupture on the eardrum, but
Is that the tinnitus?
and
I don't
oh,
know.
ringing in the ear happens all the time. I don't even complain about it. Kind of get used to it after a while.
So you're able to like kind of like block it out just because it's a daily occurrence?
Yeah, it's kind of like, have you ever heard a fire alarm go off in the background? You know, the chirp. After a while, you just don't even hear it, even though it's still going off because you've learned to ignore it.
Um it, I don't hear a lot about commendations and stuff for medics specifically, but is there like a medic award that is kind of sought after?
I mean, there's a couple different ones you could get. I mean, for medics, there's not many awards because of the Geneva Convention and the rules behind it. Because medics cannot be labeled as a POW MIA.
What do you, wait, well hold on. They can't be labeled a POW or MIA?
Nope. Nope.
So what happens if you are one of those
You live through it.
and nobody ever tries
And
to come get
hopefully,
you?
no, they'll still try to come get you. It's just one of those things. You can't be labeled as a POW even if you were. Because under the Geneva Conventions, medics are supposed to be transported to the nearest hospital and provide care for any and everybody, giving room and accommodations. Therefore, they are not a POW. Even though most of the people we fought doesn't fall under the Geneva Convention, therefore, if a medic is captured, they're tortured just like any other soldier. It's a fucked up set of rules.
Um I I see on the highways and stuff um like oh and at the entrances of some towns near me where it says this is like a purple hat town. What is a purple hat and how does one either get one?
Purple Heart.
Yeah. Cuz I see those signs thing and I thought it was like a medical like award for like
Purple
medics.
Heart. Purple Heart is somebody that's been shot in war and survived, basically. They've done something outstanding. Most of your Purple Hearts are somebody that went into gunfire, saved a couple of their people, got shot in the same time, and
Live to see it.
that's the word they're given.
Oh, okay, my bad. So I this whole time I thought it was like meant like outstanding medic service. So
No,
I'm sorry.
Purple Hearts rarely are given to medics if you actually look throughout history.
Um,
If you go into Fort Sam's uh, what is it called? Medic Museum, you'll only see about 5 Purple Hearts in it.
well, isn't that necessarily a good thing? That means that medics were not wounded often, or
No, we just don't get them.
oh, so
That's part of our job.
okay. I'm sorry.
You get the difference. It's part of our job.
Yeah.
We're expected to be stupid. It takes an ASVAB score of what I think it's a 95 to be a medic. I
Compared
scored
to
131.
oh wow, that's a significant difference. Even though your medic
Well,
bag was 75
a
pounds though.
an 11 bang bang or 11 Bravo only has to score about a 55, and he can be an infantryman for the army.
I'm
Most lieutenants to be a lieutenant and go to training has to score 110.
I don't really understand why medics are have a lower threshold when you guys have such an important job.
Like I said, it takes a certain type of person. And my medical graduation, when we started AIT, they looked at us and said 40% of you are going to fail. Straight off the rip. As soon as we showed up, 120 of us, 40% of you are going to fail. All right.
And
Let's see
did
where
they?
I
Did
fall.
40 or was it even more at the end of it?
It ended up being about 50%. We graduated with half the class. We had to do a 2 mile litter carry through the rough desert terrains in Fort Sam. Actually, that was in Fort Camp Bullis. That place.
What
Because
was the least
all the sergeants would always pick the heaviest person to be the one to be the casualty. Say you got a 300-pound man with you, all of a sudden he's the casualty, and the rest of you are having to truck him out of there on a cot. Broke a lot of people. But what were you going to say? Sorry.
no, you're good. Um we talked about what was like the cleanest and your most favorite of the bases.
Probably Fort Sam. It was actually really clean, really nice.
Yeah, but what was the least well stocked, least taken care of, and like,
That would probably be Fort Chaffee, the one I told you we were going through where they were doing renovations to like dust out the asbestos in the insulation in the walls.
yeah, you
And I
did
like
say.
literally you look over and there's draped canopies around these barracks and like big machines just with suction vacs on them, basically. And we're staying in one of the barracks across the way that apparently hadn't been renovated yet.
And then when you're overseas, could you tell me like what region or country had like the best bases and most well equipped, and which needs a little love?
Well, by gosh, I can tell you the best well built base overseas would have to be in Germany. We have a big medical hospital over there, and it is a very nice, very comfortable, very pleasant place.
Yeah, I've heard Germany's
That's where you settle in before you fly into like Bamsey or what's the one in Fort Sam? God, I can't remember the medical base. Anyway, there's two places you fly into from Germany, and it's usually either Bamsey, Boston Medical, or Bamsey, Fort Sam. Big hospitals.
and which was like the shittiest, like the worst. The one where you were like, "Oh my god, this is American?"
Any forward operation base I mean, yeah, there were amenities, but not that much.
Mm. So in w- in the like I don't know, just to get back to like the mental health part of it, it's like
Yeah.
um do you have meetups or maybe like group chats or with your battle buddies where it's more than just like on holidays that you guys reach out to each other and support each other? Hi, Space Cowboy.
Honestly, we try to support each other all we can. Like, most of us has gotten out by now. And it's
Mhm.
like when we see things like come up on Facebook about their family and stuff, and it's like, yeah, I love that. Good to see you're doing good, bud. Reinforcement.
Yeah.
Because we all kind of keep in touch, but me, at the type of person I am, I'm kind of distant.
Does your life look like or does your life look like today? Does your life look the way you thought it was going to look when you enlisted?
You know, honestly, I planned to be in there for all that time, but I had like the divorce and all that other stuff that went on and kind of changed me throughout the years.
Yeah.
I'm happy with where my life is now because I'm living in a family household. My guy living behind me is my Uncle Jeff. And then I have my aunt, my cousin, and my other cousin beside me. So we're up at the back of a holler, and I ain't got nothing to worry about.
If you could say one thing to other veterans who might be struggling with mental health or struggling to adjust or transition, like what would you say to them?
Honestly, I'd give him my number and tell him to call me because it's hard. Life's hard. The shit we went through, and then getting back to okay, you're driving down the road normally instead of looking for choke points and places that are going to end up being your death. It's a different lifestyle. It's better to reach out to people than be quiet.
Yeah. Well,
At
cuz
least
silence
have some
kills.
form of a support group, whether it be your friends, your family, like I had, luckily, or other people. Reach out. Don't be afraid to.
Can we talk
I know
about
people want to look at negative.
what
Okay, go
triggers
ahead.
that
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Could we talk about like what triggers that you had developed after deployment that you didn't realize was going to be a trigger and then how you overcame them?
I mean, one would just be driving down the road.
Because I know like our mutual friend, I know like he had disclosed to me like that a trigger that he didn't expect. And honestly, when he told me what that trigger was, it makes me think twice about when I see the same because it's a daily occurrence. But he was
Oh,
explaining
BD.
the
What'd he say to
trash
you?
that all the litter and the trash on the sides of the road, like
It freaks him out,
it.
doesn't it?
Yeah, well, he said he's gotten a little bit better, and I'm not trying to I don't
Well,
judge him or anything about that.
that's that's what I was saying about driving down the road. I mean, you start to roll up on a bridge, you start looking for wires or anything you can see in your immediate perimeter when you go on the bridge. Paranoia. Even though that you shouldn't have it because you're on a county road.
Yeah.
You're back home, you're safe, but that paranoia is still there. It's like he said about the trash.
Yeah, like, he was
Seeing a
worried that
whole
there was,
bunch of
like,
trash,
bombs underneath it and stuff.
a whole bunch of trash piled up on the side of the road, that was an indicator.
So how do you rewire your brain so that you're not suffering, over just passing over a bridge or under a bridge? Like, how do you tackle that?
Slow. It takes years. There ain't no shortcuts that I've found. And I've tried medicine and different things. There's no shortcuts. It's just realizing where you're at and getting your head around the real and now, not the back then. You've got to wrap your head around that real and now mentality. What is today? It's Tuesday, November, whatever.
Yeah.
Just wrap your head around your mentality.
Take it like one step at a time, 1 minute at a time.
Yeah.
Is there any support that the government provides? I'm not talking about like monetarily, not money or anything, but is there any
Oh,
support?
mental support and stuff. There's a
Yeah.
lot of different groups out there. I'm not the one to speak on it because I haven't talked to them, but there is at least that I know of 17 different groups. I would have to get back to you and do the research on like how to contact them and stuff, and I can send you links and the phone numbers.
I would
I'm
assume
not
that the
afraid to.
VA and other
The
places like
VA has
that
it.
would have those resources, but I wasn't sure
VA,
about how
VFW.
how how much they not advertise, but how much they offer it, you know? Versus is it just like a pamphlet on a counter, or do people go, "Hey, are you okay? We have this. We have like is there any?"
It it all depends. If you roll up on a VA and they have good staff, they're going to start providing things without you even asking.
What do you need to know, cowboy? And
Pretty much. I
hi.
mean, just
Sorry, someone I need to scroll back. I
well,
think he might have a question. I didn't see it. I'm so sorry. What do you need to know? And we'll give him a moment.
I'm going to have to get off here soon. Go to bed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it dragged on. I just wanted to be like thorough in terms of like because
I would rather
hopefully
be
this helps
thorough.
people. Hopefully this will help any veteran who feels like they're the only one struggling with this. And then
Well, even if it's just a man,
yeah, or just a man.
reach out.
Yeah.
Don't be stubborn.
Yeah.
Pride kills.
Um so before we end it, I just want to make sure I go through the rest of
What
my
did Cowboy had to ask?
Yeah, I they didn't text again, but I will keep my eyes on it cuz I literally on my screen I have like several things that I'm looking at and trying to keep track of. Um what gives your life purpose today?
What gives my life purpose?
Yeah,
My
like
son.
well, that good answer, good answer. Yeah.
I mean, simply put, my son. And just making sure he doesn't have to suffer through things I went through. I mean, growing up to joining the military to being out of the military, I hope he never has to see any of those worlds. I want to protect him the best I can. Of course, I know he's going to have to grow up. So therefore, I've got to make him strong.
Is there anything that you feel I should have asked you about that I didn't get a chance to or forgot? Is there anything that you would want to say?
Well, the biggest thing I can say to men and my military brethren is just don't give up. Don't be stupid. Don't give up. Because life has more than you expected to have, You just got to see it till you find it.
That's beautiful.
When I had my son, my whole world changed. And now I see things through different colors, no longer red and black. I see the brightness of hues. I see the blues. I see the greens. And the biggest thing you can do is there for the people that were there for you.
I have somebody in my chat that's saying you were a combat medic and that you guys see the worst. Is there I don't think there's a question with that. I'm gonna ask for clarification. Is there a question with
Oh
that?
yeah, as far as the worst, like I told you earlier, if you've ever opened a Humvee door and basically seen a human blender,
Oof.
that's how I'm going to describe it. IED went off in the bottom, flat bottom Humvee, pierced upward, shrapnel went around the cabin, armor in the Humvee reflected it back in. Therefore, yeah.
Wow. That sounds very scary. That's multiple victims.
4 to be exact.
And you were the only one on that squadron at that
No,
time?
I was in one of the other vehicles. I happened to be the one to open the door.
But you
We
had
were
other
in with a
medics with
different command
you?
at the time. We were in with a different command at the time.
Okay. That sounds so scary because who do you work on first? Does it go by rank
Nobody.
or
Nobody.
nope.
There
I
was nobody in there to work on.
oh.
There was not enough left of each of them. I couldn't even made a cadaver out of them.
I couldn't that sounds like a really awful image and I'm really sorry.
Oh no, that's just life.
Cuz you knew that they weren't just these were not just it's not I mean, granted,
These
seeing
were
a
friends and
like
comrades.
yeah, seeing a vicious car accident or where even where someone like dies or whatever, like I'm not trying to downplay that trauma. But it's a whole other level when you're like, that's Steve. Steve has, a 3-year-old daughter and a wife or whatever. So it must have been so like how do you get over seeing your comrades, your friends in that like was that in I don't know, that might be a callous question. I'm sorry.
Well, honestly, you take a back seat and you watch over their family the best you can.
Well, um thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview. And I hope if anybody here has listened thus far, that regardless whether you are a military veteran or you are not, or whether you are, you know, um,
Human life is hard enough.
yeah, human life in general, that you are not alone and you are worth speaking up about and you are
There
worth
is
speaking out.
no weakness in saying, hey, I need to talk.
Yeah. There's absolutely no
Those are the
weakness
best
in that.
words you could ever say.
It's actually strong of you to reach out and be vulnerable and have that conversation, those tough conversations. But thank you so much. Ace, I think is what I renamed you because I accidentally
I'm cool with it. I'll go with Ace.
Thank you again. And if when I get this all set up and edited and ready for YouTube, I'll definitely send you a link.
Send me a link.
Yeah, that way I'm sure there'll be comments on the YouTube video that we didn't get to today. I think a lot of
I'll send it to my South African brother, see what he thinks.
yeah, Outlaw Wolf is still here. Oh, thank you. But yeah, this has been quite enlightening, and I really really hope this helps. And the reason I was doing all this, the reason I ran a charity stream on Veterans Day, which I don't think I was able to even inform you, but on Veterans Day, I did a full playthrough of the game 1111 Memories Retold, and that's World War One, where I played as from both perspective, an Allied soldier and an Axis
Oh,
soldier.
nice.
And all of the money that I raised that day, like I took nothing from it. I made no profit whatsoever, no revenue. All of that money, whether it's commercials, bits, or subs, are going right to veterans directly, veterans in need. So I did that. I raised a little bit. I did my best. um, and so
Well,
this was
thank
just
you.
completing that whole segment with the Men's Mental Health Month and Veterans Day. And so I really appreciate you coming on, especially on such like
Maybe next
late.
time I can get a couple other people.
Yeah. No, I would love to continue this conversation with the people that you'd be interested in bringing, and maybe we can get like a circle talk of like how we can break the barrier and help men feel like they are worth speaking up about and worth talking about, because mental health, whether you're a man or a woman or whichever, um is difficult to talk about, and
It
we need to
matters,
break the
yeah.
stigma.
And like I said, maybe next time I might get BD in here.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you
I
um
appreciate it, and thank you all for joining us.
yeah, thank you. I see quite a few new viewers here, and so quite a few ladies off the Bigo app, so they they were interested.
I'm still single. Sorry, I had to throw that one out there.
Yeah, we could do like round robin. That's what my chat is saying right now, because there are other veterans around that would love to get in on the conversation. So I would love to set that up in the future for sure.
Sounds great. You all have a good night, and
Yeah,
I'm getting
good
off here.
night.
Out.
You want me to remove you from the room? Because I can.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I don't know how to do it. Found it out earlier.
Well, that concludes. Oh, thank you, Christopher. That concludes our interview with an Army veteran combat medic. And I appreciate everybody for hanging out, both on Bigo and on Twitch. And if you missed this live, or you're coming in now and joining in now, I'm Defiant Angel Princess. And you can find these interviews where I do what I call an interview with an interesting person. All the recordings go onto YouTube, where you can find me under the same pen name. That's Defiant Angel Princess. I've interviewed uh ex-convicts. I've interviewed flat earthers. Thank you for following me, Chris. I try to do an interview once a month, and I decided on focusing on mental health during November. And so I really appreciate you guys. And I hope that you enjoyed what you heard, that it helps. And I would love to continue um Space Cowboy, hi. You can't hear anything. Oh no. But yeah, so I really appreciate it, and I thank you. And I know it's really late, so I'm going to get going. And I hope that this has helped at least one person. Thank you so much.